overweight doubles in the house. The house. The overweight doubles in the house. The house. The overweight doubles in the house. Doubles in the overweight doubles in the house.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
All right, you're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, aka The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. And of course, I'm 12 minutes late, right? 12 minutes late. I get no respect. No respect. So, as always, the pundits ran long, and then other issues in between the show, you know. The riots that go on when my show's about to go on. People are stopping me. They don't want me to say the truth, spit the truth. But here I am, closing out the week. The last show, the last live show, you know, that closes out the week for WNHH LP, right? And, you know, my show is the best show. You got to admit that. I mean, who's going to give you the truth? Who's going to go against the narrative of the media, against the narrative of the propagandists, the Democrats? You got to have somebody like me to do it. All right, I didn't have no time to do show prep, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a song, and I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave.
Yo, it's the G-O-D, B-O-D, yeah, rock your body. Illegal business controls America. Business controls America. I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Industry rule number 4080. Record companies are shady. Yeah, I know y'all been waiting. Y'all been patient. Let's go. I be the MC version of Huey P, the all-seeing through my 2020 brown Bruce sleeves. Malcolm X / Muhammad Ali. Karate chop the riders block with the Hasi Selassie karate. Your photo shoots with the same old stare. You're sitting there in the wicker chair, holding the heat. You're in the spare with my coalition comrades in the rear. Pat downs, Peasy, we here with their fists. Cause of what I say, you should just wanna blast me away, but I'll be back with no delay, like Jesus Christ on Easter Sunday. In the ring, cause they wanna murder God body. Sacrifice the life of the Christ on Good Friday. Resurrect and return the wreck. Snap a nigga neck for some live effects. Approach the podium, give a mic check, adjust the specs, bless the chest with a bulletproof vest before I catch wreck. Spitting and spazzing yo in the side of assassins and rapping before biggest bullets be blasting yo at my black ass and hit a free to her from the mental enslavement. This ain't gangster rap, this is a form of entertainment. Controversial, can see no sense. Coming through the speaker like the brick through the living room window of a civil rights leader. Prolific, gifted, leaving spirits lifted like Dr. King's last words before we got his cap twisted. I'm told I'm a nigga with an attitude.
All right. You're listening to Breaking News. Let's get into it. I'm gonna play a little portion of the State of the Union here. The final minute and a half of the State of the Union. Let's listen.
Thank you. When American soldiers set out beneath the dark skies over the English Channel in the early hours of D-Day 1944, they were just young men of 18 and 19 hurtling on fragile landing craft toward the most momentous battle in the history of war. They did not know if they would survive the hour. They did not know if they would grow old, but they knew that America had to prevail. Their cause was this nation and generations yet unborn. Why did they do it? They did it for America. They did it for us. Everything that has come since our triumph over communism, our giant leaps of science and discovery, our unrivaled progress towards equality and justice, all of it is possible thanks to the blood and tears and courage and vision of the Americans who came before. Think of this Capitol. Think of this very chamber where lawmakers before you voted to end slavery, to build the railroads and the highways and defeat fascism, to secure civil rights, and to face down evil empires. Here tonight, we have legislators from across this magnificent republic. You have come from the rocky shores of Maine and the volcanic peaks of Hawaii, from the snowy woods of Wisconsin and the red deserts of Arizona, from the green farms of Kentucky and the golden beaches of California. Together we represent the most extraordinary nation in all of history. What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? I ask the men and women of this Congress, look at the opportunities before us. Our most thrilling achievements are still ahead. Our most exciting journeys still await. Our biggest victories are still to come. We have not yet begun to dream. We must choose whether we are defined by our differences or whether we dare to transcend them. We must choose whether we squander our great inheritance or whether we proudly declare that we are Americans. We do the incredible. We defy the impossible. We conquer the unknown. This is the time to reignite the American imagination. This is the time to search for the tallest summit and set our sights on the brightest star. This is the time to rekindle the bonds of love and loyalty and memory that link us together as citizens, as neighbors, as patriots. This is our future, our fate, and our choice to make. I am asking you to choose greatness. No matter the trials we face, no matter the challenges to come, we must go forward together. We must keep America first in our hearts. We must keep freedom alive in our souls. And we must always keep faith in America's destiny. That one nation, under God, must be the hope and the promise and the light and the glory among all the nations of the world. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So, you have Donald Trump's speech, which was a unifying speech, a speech of hope, right? And since the State of the Union, I've heard Trump was attacking the other side or Van Jones, who said this was a mixture of cookies and poop. And then Stacey Abrams' rebuttal was written without her ever watching the speech, right? So she was rebutting nothing. She was actually speaking to campaign Donald Trump. She was speaking to the person who was campaigning in 2015. Because the Democrats still can't get over the election. The Democrats sat on their hands when he talked about the black unemployment being at a historic low, Hispanic unemployment, Asian unemployment, unemployment for women, unemployment for the disabled being at the lowest historic rate. They all sat on their hands. They sat on their hands as if they're against prosperity. They sat on their hands when he said close to 5 million people have come off of food stamps. They sat on their hands as if they prefer welfare and food stamps. And then the worst of them all is when they sat on their hands when Trump called for, for a law against late-term abortions. You look around this great country, you have different states passing late-term abortion laws. And these laws allow abortion into the 9th month. Okay, so fully formed babies being killed is what the Democrats want. They sat on their hands when he said, let's pass a law against late-term abortions. What is wrong with the Democrats? And like I said, Stacey Abrams came out and what she did? What did she do? What did she do? She spoke about campaign Trump. Not the Trump that has the economy booming. Not the Trump that has our country safer and is trying to make us even safer by protecting our borders. The Democrats, look, Trump, in his speech, he said, immigration has made us a greater nation. Legal immigration has made us a greater nation. Immigrants are the fabric of this country. And the Democrats ran right out the door and said Trump was against immigration. Who's lying? Trump is for legal immigration. It's the illegal part that the Democrats try to conflate with the legal immigrants. No Trump supporter is against legal immigration. We're all immigrants. But you have to do it the right way. You have legal immigrants who have come here and have been killed by illegal immigrants. We have to stop that. We have to actually, this is so simple. The Democrats wanted a wall too. They only don't want it because Trump wants a wall. The Democrats are for helping DACA. Now they don't want to help DACA. They don't want to help all those young people because Trump wants to help them. Trump wants to make this a greater deal. There's no way we could do comprehensive immigration reform with the Democrats acting the way they're acting. I saw Democrats saying, there's no way we could have a 2,000-mile fence, a wall. Trump's not asking for a 2,000-mile wall. Right now, he's asking for about 300 miles. And it would be strategically put where the experts, the Border Patrol, says they need it. It's insane what the Democrats do. First off, they have no moral high ground anymore. They have no moral high ground anymore. And they say Trump is lying, and all the Democrats do is lie. Okay, and now they're panicking. The Democrats are panicking because the Mueller investigation is coming to an end and there's nothing. There's no collusion. So now they want to investigate all his finances. Imagine if we did that to Obama. If we investigated Obama just to get something. And obviously Obama would be caught with something, right? Because Tony Resto, his friend, who's in federal prison right now, gave Obama property at half price. Obama was a politician. Obama was actually engineering, gearing grants and stuff to Tony Resto at the time when he was the state senator. So, why? And the funny thing is that nobody wants to investigate what Hillary did. And we know Hillary Clinton broke the law. She destroyed subpoenaed evidence. But no, they're in search of a crime when it comes to Trump. They're in search of a crime. They don't want to tackle crimes that have been committed on the Democrat side. But they're in search of a crime because they want to hurt Trump and his family. If that's who you are, it's who you are. You're not a good person. And I know people hate Trump. They hate Trump because his policies have worked. They hate Trump because all the predictions about how he was going to destroy the country haven't come into fruition. They hate Trump because he got North Korea to stop shooting missiles over Japan. They hate Trump because he kept his promise to move our embassy to Jerusalem. They hate Trump because he told African Americans and Latino, what do you have to lose? Vote for me. The Democrats haven't done nothing for you. And now black unemployment and Latino unemployment are at an all-time low. They hate Trump because he's kept more of his promises. And the reason they're trying to stop a wall is because they think Trump supporters are as ignorant as the zombie Democrats. You actually impeding Trump from building a wall doesn't mean he's not keeping his promise to me. I want Trump to try to build that wall, try everything. Hold nothing back. But if he doesn't do it, it's because Nancy Pelosi has served as a roadblock. And Trump supporters know it. He's not like Obama. He's not a king. Remember when Obama said that? Obama said he couldn't do DACA because he wasn't a king, and then he did DACA anyway. Trump is not doing that. He's not writing illegal executive orders like Obama did. Illegal executive orders that now courts are treating like it's a law. A president cannot write law. But for some reason, all these liberal activist judges are treating DACA as it's a law. the Democrats are upset because Trump has been successful. So they sat on their hands throughout the whole thing, the State of the Union. They sat on their hands for everything. It's incredible that they got up when he was saluting the woman. But the woman got up and they celebrated themselves, and Trump was gracious. Go look at it. He wasn't evil Trump like the media is telling you. If you haven't seen the State of the Union, it's long. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Because it's always important that you actually hear the words coming out of his mouth, because the media lies, the Democrats lie. I go through it every week here. I'm constantly correcting. And you know what happens? When I correct, people get upset. When I offer to show them the video of what was actually said, they get upset. They don't want to see the truth. They'll accept whatever lie they've eaten and swallowed and digested. All right. Play a little more music. I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News, absolutely breaking the news with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave, on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Yeah, evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. Evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. Another Jesus Judah parallel tale. The story really never ends well. Swarm down like a vulture. Judas bent us over and it came and f***ed us over. Now we selling agriculture. My island, falling down in a hole in silence. Peace and violence, keep us silence. Forever staying strong. Can't bring me down along. I know you really hate this song. Money has a soul, now we pay back loans. School shutting down, they don't even have a frown. Breaking laws, no American representative represented us it up. What happened, Uncle Sam? F***ing up your plans. Lo hago por mi pueblo, situación de deseo para hacer lo que puedo. Now tell me how this hook that sounds so good. Evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. Evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. They will never change. They will never change. They will never change. Let me take you back to Black Wall Street. Really have a white man off me. Keep him off quiet about Christopher Columbus, excludes about the riots, I murder us thousands. Victims of America, how they telling us we're free in the land where they bury us. My island not for sale. May his words live long and prevail. Do you feel? Rip my roots, take my life, make me dumb, shoot my kind. Kill our leaders, my people so deceitful. Everything you ever done was evil. Our minds still tied to those chains. Still walking like slaves, getting played by the game. Some things will never change, but I'm standing by my flag, yelling as I ask. Evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. Evil man, yeah. Why you stealing from my people? You ain't never true to see. You will never trip and eat. Never trip and eat. Evil man. Evil man.
All right. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave. All right, let's get to a quick clip here because, you know, I always... Look, I deal with Democrats all the time, right? Who don't know they're conservative. Right? In their lives... Right, they're Christians. They're against abortion. They're, you know, in their lives, they live a totally different life than what they vote for. Right, they believe in a family structure, two parents. and everything. They don't think it's a good idea to be a single parent, like some people do think that, right? And they don't realize that they're conservative. The way they treat their money, right? They think people should work hard to earn money, right? When income tax time comes, they're doing everything possible to pay as little taxes to the government as possible. And I'm like, you do realize you're conservative, right? You should be happy to be paying taxes if you're a Democrat. You should actually write a check, an extra check to the government because you're a Democrat and you want all of these free programs. Of course, they're not free because they're charging you taxes, right? But that's when you realize that when you're doing your taxes, you see every Democrat become a conservative. It's insane. But here, I'm going to give you a little clip here. This is Cardi B. Cardi B doesn't realize she's a conservative. But let's listen.
You know what I hate? I hate when celebrities do something very extravagant, buy something very luxurious. There's people in the comments like, you could have donated that, or we going backwards. You could have done this and that with your money. And it's like, who are you to tell people what to do with their hard work money? First of all, do you know that artists, celebrities, the IRS, out of every check that you make, they automatically take 45% of your check. That means in order to spend $500,000, you got to make at least $1 million. Then like an artist like me and a lot of rappers that I know, they literally take care of their whole family. And that's not tax deductible because the IRS don't consider that a business. On top of that, being an artist, looking good for y'all, doing all this extra to please y'all, that costs money. Like me, for example.
All right. She finishes by saying she spends $250,000 a month. Is she out of touch or what? She spends $250,000 a month. Cardi B is insane.
My bills.
Hold on, let me
it's
finish
like
it.
I'll say about $300,000, $250,000 every single month, and I try to put it cheaper, and it's not. So
it's just not possible. She can't go cheaper than $250,000. So, but she's complaining about paying 40%, right? And she wants taking care of her family to be considered a business expense. See how conservative Democrats become? So quickly. She's against everything Trump. But she doesn't realize she's conservative. She doesn't want to pay taxes. But I bet you she wants to give everything for free. So she has to be thinking to herself, well, if you actually think she has the capability, she has to be thinking to herself, should the government give everything free if they don't take 40% of my taxes? How does she think that's possible? Right? But these people don't have no clue when it comes to what it is, how the government is run, and this progressive tax system, and how all of this money goes into all of these programs. And then no matter what, every year, we have to actually borrow. Our government has to borrow in order to run our government every year. We are in debt. The government is in debt. And Cardi B is upset that they're taking her taxes away. See how it is? Democrats are clueless. I bet you she thinks only Republicans should pay taxes. It's insane. It's insane, but what can you do? You have so many intelligent people out there telling you who to vote for, how to vote, because, they know better, except she doesn't, right? She's upset that she has to actually pay taxes. It's insane. All right. Let's move on. I like Cardi B though, but she's an interesting person. They don't necessarily know what they're talking about all the time. But let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So this is from the Daily Wire. Pelosi excludes, and let me just, before I go into it, for anybody out there listening on the radio, all of the headlines I put up on our Facebook Live page or on our Twitter at WNHHLP. So you could follow along with me, you know. This way you know what I'm reading or what I'm telling you is true, or at least it's what is being reported. Speaker Nancy Pelosi excluded Democratic socialists. Poor Democrats. They have these people in their party. Excluded Democratic Socialist Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC, right, from serving on the new Climate Change Committee on Thursday, as she announced the Democratic members who will serve on the committee. And of course, you know, look, Ocasio-Cortez, poor Ocasio-Cortez. Look at her. She's tearing up. I mean, she just came up with the new Green Deal, right? And what did Nancy Pelosi call it? A green dream, or she brushed her off, basically. Everybody has to go out there and read Ocasio-Cortez's Green Deal, the new Green Deal that she wants America to actually pass. A deal that would eliminate taking airplanes. A deal that would force every building in America to be redone, basically torn down and rebuilt. That's 33,000 buildings a day that she would have to do. A physicist actually came out and said, obviously she didn't ask anyone, you know, with a science degree to actually help her out. It's impossible. You know, but so what Ocasio-Cortez is asking us to do is to take a train everywhere, right? So I guess they're gonna put trains that we over here in Connecticut. It's hard to get a bus to go anywhere, and then the buses stop running at a certain time and you're SOL, right? So, but Ocasio-Cortez wants to eliminate your car too. So she wants to eliminate planes. She wants to eliminate your car. You're gonna be taking a train. Let me tell you, the Senator Hirano, I think Senator Hirano from Hawaii, said it's gonna be pretty difficult for Hawaii because there's no train that'll get to Hawaii. But Ocasio-Cortez, you know, everybody's saying she's brilliant. If you were listening to pundits before this, Paul loves her. She's such a good communicator. Of course, she has no clue what she's saying. So, I guess communicating is just throwing out words. But she's clueless. She's clueless. She has no idea. She doesn't want to talk about any details because they have no details. One of her other things is shared prosperity, right? So it's a guaranteed income for everyone. And when you ask her, how are we going to pay this? She says shared prosperity. And that includes people who work and people who aren't willing to work. Not people who can't work. People who aren't willing to work. And that's where, and look, basically this is the new Democrat leader. She's out there in the news every day, right? Nancy Pelosi is allowing her to just go crazy out there in Washington, where she should be sat in a corner and told to learn something. But that's Ocasio-Cortez. Everybody loves her. Everybody loves Ocasio-Cortez. Okay. Let's move on. Let's look for a good headline. Okay, here goes. let's stick with Ocasio-Cortez. This is a Daily Wire. Mandatory train travel and regulated cow farts. The Green New Deal is even crazier than you thought. A congressional progressive coalition that includes Representative Alexandria OcasioCortez released their Green New Deal Thursday morning, and it's something. Right? The bill is a complete overhaul of the nation's energy systems with the goal of creating millions of good high-wage jobs by striving for net zero greenhouse gas emissions, according to The Hill. And it starts out predictably enough, given Ocasio-Cortez's previous statements touting the apocalyptic ramifications of climate change. Yeah, because Alexandria OcasioCortez just a few weeks ago said the world was going to end in 12 years. So if you're not prepared, prepare, right? So she's trying to save you in 10 years. And she really believes her prediction. She's the new Nostradamus, Nostra Ocasio-Cortez, right? The bill calls for a decade-long national mobilization towards a climate-neutral country, a project that includes such general goals as resilience building, 100% renewable energy-driven power grid, updating smart power grids, and increasing building energy efficiency. Now, this all sounds great, right? Hey, renewable. Do you know the polar vortex that just happened in America, where the Midwest, you have major parts of the country suffering this polar vortex? Remember, we had, minus 30 a couple of nights, right? A couple of mornings where you got up, it was freezing. How, with no sun out and a polar vortex hitting us, how are they gonna be able to heat anything? Your solar panels need the sun. The windmills will get knocked down by this polar vortex. How are they gonna? What are they talking about? We would have a major part of the United States. We had some deaths because of the polar vortex. We would have so many more deaths. These people think you can renew. I want to see Alexandria Cortez get on the first jet, solar powered jet. Let's see how long that stays in the air. So, I don't know what, it's just crazy. But then it gets weird, right? The full Green New Deal reads a bit like a socialist wish list. And it is. I'm going to stop there because I want to get to another article. Let's see. If I have this here. Oh, here it goes. Investors Business Daily. The Nazi roots of the global warming scare. And this is important because all this global warming stuff, this isn't new stuff. This isn't anything that is brand new. It was done by the Nazis. And it's a power grab. They're not trying to save the planet. They're trying to control the planet. There's a difference, right? So, generally speaking, this is from the Investors Business Daily. Generally speaking, the first person in a debate who compares their opponent to Hitler or the Nazis at that moment loses the argument. When the Third Reich is invoked, it's usually clear evidence that the person's position is so weak that they have to resort to a gross misrepresentation of the other's position, which is what Democrats do all the time. They actually have no good policy positions, so they call you racist, Hitler, whatever, sexist, everything, right? It's how the Democrats argue. I deal with it every day here, right? There are exceptions, of course, because sometimes the Nazi label fittingly applies. Sometimes The lineage of a movement, institution, or political figure can be traced right back to the German fascist regime. This is the case with today's environmentalism, according to one British investment banker. If you look at what the Nazis were doing in the 1930s in their environmental policies, virtually every theme you see in the modern environmental movement, the Nazis were doing, said Rupert Dorwell, author of The Green Tyranny, in a recent interview with Encounter Books. I think actually the most extraordinary thing that I came across was this quote from Adolf Hitler, where he told an aide once, "I'm not interested in politics. I'm interested in changing people's lifestyles." Well, that could be. That's extraordinarily contemporary. That is what the modern environmental movement is all about. It's about changing people's lifestyles, said Dorwell, who is no crackpot on the fringe and whose background includes duties as a special advisor to the United Kingdom's Chancellor of the Exchequer, whatever that is. The Führer's interest, Hitler's interest in changing people's lifestyles is not at all shockingly similar to the goals of today's climate fanatics who want to destroy capitalism and replace it with an economic system run by them. Naturally, that would certainly change lifestyles in the West. So, this isn't a new idea. Hitler was implementing all of these rules. And do you think it's because Hitler was trying to save the planet? No, Hitler was trying to control the planet. And this is exactly what the Democrats want to do. Let me tell you. Even communist Russia is going, whoa, that's way too much. Because passing this New Deal, this New Green Deal agenda is passing fascism. It's passing communism. It's allowing the government to control every part of your life, which was Hitler's goal. So this is what it is. I mean, it was Hitler's way of controlling the people, controlling the masses, and now we've adopted it. I mean, the Democrats have always adopted everything of Hitler, so it's not surprising. Actually, Hitler was adopting the Democrats' policies of racism and Jim Crow, right? He actually looked at them and what they were doing to inspire himself to kill all the Jewish people, right? Anyway, so let me throw on some music and I'll be right back. You're listening to Breaking News with Harry, aka The Brave, on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
The way I'm touching on you, oh yeah. Put your body on me. My hands are on your shoulder. Let's finish what we started. I can't wait to touch your body. I can't wait to touch your body. And we ain't gotta tell nobody. I can't wait to touch your body. Kiss me and make me believe that this moment we're in, it ain't just pretend that we're making love.
Alright, I gotta come back in. I didn't realize what time it was. Alright, you're listening to Breaking News. Alright, so we gotta do the speed round here. Let me switch over so you can see the. Let's see. Okay. We did those. Okay. This is from the Gateway Pundit. They're reporting on a story from the Hills reporter John Sullivan. Adam Schiff, who runs the Intelligence Committee in the House of Representatives, and who's after Trump, and who has actually announced that he's going after Trump's finances and his family and everything, because there's no collusion. That's going to be, when that bubble bursts, I feel bad for the Democrats all over again. It's like losing the 2016 election all over again. But he's preparing for it by starting other investigations. Anyway, so John Solomon broke a story that the new chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, which is Adam Schiff, had an undisclosed meeting with Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson. Now, Glenn Simpson was a witness in front of that same intelligence committee which Schiff co-chaired with Nunez, right? And he had an off-the-books meeting with someone who was going to appear before him. Was he coaching him? Right? And Schiff, who criticized Donald Trump Jr. and whoever else for having the meeting with a lawyer who wanted to come in and give them dirt on Hillary. But Adam Schiff, who's running the Intel Committee now, was coaching witnesses? Now, Glenn Simpson is the person who Hillary Clinton hired to go find dirt on Trump. And Glenn Simpson hired the British spy Steele to get dirt on Trump, and Steele went to the Russians and got dirt from the Russians on Trump, or unconfirmed, unverified, stuff on Trump. It was never proven. That dossier was never proven. As a matter of fact, Jim Comey called it salacious and unproven, unverified. So, okay. Oh, my time is up. Hold on. Oh, I wanted to show this, but not gonna get a chance. You're listening to breaking news. Oh, and then the Dems hypocrisy on what's happening in Virginia, right? Nancy Pelosi said, we have a lot of talented people out there. A lot of talented politicians out there. The people just need to trust them. So nothing like that was said about Kavanaugh or anything. This is hypocrisy. You have Democrats in blackface. You have another one sexually assaulting a woman. And the Democrats don't care about it. All right, I got to get out of here. Let me play some music. All right. You've been listening to Breaking News with Harry, a.k.a. The Brave.
5
Overweight doubles in the house. Overweight doubles in the house.
Slimming.
All right, I got to get out of here. I'm a bad man. I got to get out of here.
So you're a philosopher?
www.
Yes. Yes.
No, yay.
Yes.
No.
I think very deeply. I think very
That
deeply.
what?
I think very deeply.